On day 1, I spawned into the city as a Speakerman. To my horror, the place was being ravaged by a massive Skibidi-Zilla. My men were all running for their lives as the massive radioactive monster vaporized the city. They fell left and right to the lizard's might. The toilets have biological warfare on their side? As I thought all hope was lost, the upgraded Titan Speakerman was seen approaching the battlefield. He landed in front of me, ready to defend the Speakerman.
Stand back, I have this.
The Titan Speakerman turned around and fired his laser arms at the Skibidi-Zilla. It hit hard enough to knock him back a few meters, but this kaiju's armored toilet shell let the damage glance right off of him. Skibidi-Zilla retaliated with an atomic breath attack of his own. One after the other, the giants traded devastating attacks back and forth. While these two titanic monsters duked it out, the rest of the city wasn't faring nearly as well. Innocent civilians tried to avoid as much danger as they could. But there's hardly a place safe from the Skibidi Wars. Despite his efforts, the Titan Speakerman was soon hit with an attack that caused his whole body to be surrounded in electricity. He turned towards our forces, acting strangely.
Eliminate.
He began to attack the Speakerman with everything he had, blasting our army to death. The Titan was being mind-controlled by the Skibidi toilets.
Level this city.
Suddenly, a horde of mini Skibidi-Zillas swarmed the area. Without any weapons, I was defenseless. I ran for my life. On day 2, I was being pursued by a horde of miniature Skibidi-Zillas. The radioactive toilets were killing my allies left and right with their razor-sharp teeth. Their cursed song filled the streets along with the screams of my friends. I need to find a weapon, fast! Just then, I spotted an abandoned music shop. I ran inside, searching for anything in the store I could use. I picked up one of the instruments and felt a new power surge through me. The mini Skibidi-Zillas closed in and I unleashed the power of my Speakerman song. Take this! As the stampede rushed through the doors, I unleashed a blast of sound through my speakers, stunning all of the dinos who were caught within its effect. I took advantage of their slowed march and maneuvered through the record shop to get a better position. With all of them grouped up, I fired a bellowing concussive bass. Their jaws were sharp, and they were able to chew down my health with each bite. After everything, the Skibidi-Zillas still stood strong and kept up their attacks. My new powers were powerful, and I managed to take down a few of the enemies and stun the rest. But as I tried to flee, a tank Skibidi-Zilla stopped me in my tracks.
Eliminate speaker threat.
The Skibidi-Zilla tank unleashed its firepower onto me, leaving me with low health. I tried to fight back with my music, but its armor was too strong for me to penetrate. The Skibidi forces closed in. On day 3, I was about to be leveled by the Skibidi-Zilla army when a cameraman jumped in to defend me. He shot back the toilets with his laser gun, buying us some time. Come with me! I followed behind the friendly cameraman as the mini Skibidi-Zillas and tank all followed close behind. We navigated the maze of the city, but no matter what we did, there were toilets around every corner. The two of us ran into a street only to be completely surrounded by Skibidi toilet enemies.
Here, take this.
The cameraman dropped me a plunger to help defend myself.
I'll clear the path. Find the Titan cameraman. He's the only one who can help us now.
The cameraman ran into the fray, clearing a path for me to escape. I made a run for it, but in the process, my new camera ally fell to the might of the Skibidi-Zilla forces. No! With a heavy heart, I continued to run until a little voice yelled out to me.
Oh, no, you don't.
Out of nowhere, a mini Skibidi spider jumped me. On days 4 through 5, I was fighting for my life against the mind-controlling Skibidi spider. Before I could stop him, he slipped into my brain, causing me to feel a weird sensation. Ah! He's in my brain! The spider plopped out a few controls and began controlling my every move.
I have you now.
A group of Speakermen came to aid me, but instead I lost control of myself and began attacking them. No! Stop doing this!
Their blood is on your hands, Speakerman.
I thought fast and turned my speaker up to max volume. I unleashed a powerful music attack that blasted the pesky spider off of me. In his place, he left a strange computer chip in my inventory. What the?
You're not getting away that easy.
I looked behind me and spotted a swarm of larger Skibidi spiders crawling after me. The horde went at me with everything they had, and I retaliated with my music attacks. Unfortunately, there were too many for me to take on, and more kept coming after everyone I killed. I ran until I spotted a manhole in the ground and took a leap of faith. On days 6 through 7, I took cover in the sewers as I heard the scuttling sound of the spider's feet running overhead. I gotta find another way out of here. I scoured the sewers for an alternate route, but when I turned the corner, I was spotted by a Skibidi toilet patrolling the area.
There's the speaker! Get him!
Him and his men came after me. There were too many for me to take on my own, so I made a run for it. The horde of toilets were closing in, but I spotted a massive waterfall in the distance. I took the plunge and jumped into the water to escape the toilets. Good thing Skibidi toilets can't swim. Just then, I spotted a swarm of mini Skibidi-Zillas swimming after me like a swarm of piranhas. They can swim? No! Beware! I swam as fast as I could, but the Skibidi-Zillas were faster. They were much better fit to swim through the water than I was. They were closing in, and I wasn't sure how much longer I could hang on. Luckily for me, I spotted another passageway that led upwards. This might be my only chance! I took the path, and when I came out the other side, I was back in the overworld. Just then, the mind-controlled Titan Speakerman touched down in front of me. Hey, buddy!
Eliminate.
The Titan pointed his weapons at me and fired. On days 8 through 9, I was being attacked by my former Titan ally. I didn't want to fight, so I pleaded in hopes of him snapping out of his trance. Please, you have to remember, you're our friend! Despite my pleas, I wasn't able to get through to him. He continued his onslaught, and a little speakerman like me was no match for the power of the Titan. One more blow from him would be enough to kill me. Looks like this is the end. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, the Titan cameraman swooped in and defended me from the Titan Speakerman. The two of them clashed, Titan versus Titan. It was anyone's game, and neither side was giving in. The Titan camera flew in front of the Titan Speakerman to protect me from his attacks, stunning the Speakerman on impact. The Speakerman retaliated with his explosive red blast, impacting his target, but the cameraman still fought back against the Speakerman. The cameraman hit the Speakerman with his Thor-like hammer, causing the Speakerman to bounce backwards in the water. The two continued battle, exchanging blow for blow. Just then, I heard a voice calling out to me.
Over here!
I looked up to find that a cameraman had come to my aid. I rushed over to join him as the Titans held each other off. I was soon among a group of the cameraman forces. Suddenly, a massive explosion shook the area, releasing a swarm of Skibidi toilets hungry for blood.
They set a trap! Everyone defend yourselves!
On days 10 through 11, the camera forces in the Skibidi toilets were fighting an all-out war. The cameras shot at them with their guns and smashed down the toilets with their plungers, while the Skibidi toilets sang their haunting song to rally their forces. They were neck and neck, but thanks to the camera's arsenal, it was looking like we would stand a chance. I helped using my plunger weapon along with my musical instrument to take down every toilet that stood in my way. Just as we thought we had won the battle, a strange sensation came over me. Ugh, my head! Suddenly, sparks flew all around my body and I lost control of myself. I fired attacks at my own cameraman allies, causing them to fall one after the other. I couldn't stop my own attacks! No, stop! How is this possible? Just then, the tank Skibidi-Zilla rolled out in front of me.
The chip the spider Skibidi implanted you is all we needed. Each commanding officer is now able to control you whenever we please.
I didn't want to hurt my allies any longer. I focused hard and managed to gain some control for a short moment. I blasted a massive sound wave into the ground, causing a hole to open underneath me. The tank Skibidi and I plummeted into the earth below. On day 12 through 14, I woke up in an underground cavern with the tank Skibidi-Zilla. The fall made me take massive damage, but I regained control of my body once again. I gotta get rid of this chip! I tried to toss the chip from my inventory, but no matter what I did, I couldn't get it off of me. The tank Skibidi-Zilla turned his attention towards me.
I see I can't control you anymore. If you won't be my puppet, then I'll just have to kill you.
Without a moment to waste, the tank Skibidi charged at me with everything he had. He used his mounted cannon to fire grenade blasts at me. I could only narrowly dodge direct hits before being blown away by the blast. I nimbly dodged out of the way while the ground around me was blown apart. I closed the distance and swung with my plunger, landing a few consecutive hits before being forced on the defense again. To my horror, the Skibidi tank switched his ammunition, using flaming rounds to light the battlefield ablaze. His explosive missiles were getting harder to dodge, with the surrounding area becoming harder to maneuver around. He was too strong for me to defeat. I was close to death when I spotted a strange object on the ground. What's that? I ran to it and picked it up. Suddenly, I felt my body change. My arms elongated, and I grew bigger in size. My speaker head was now larger and more powerful. I was a large speakerman with 5 additional hearts. Time for round 2! I jumped back into the fray, unleashing my newest power. My large speakerman fists were able to dig into the tank's hardened body, dwindling his health substantially. I was quickly overpowering the tank Skibidi toilet using my newfound power. My soundwave screeching frequencies were highly amplified, disorienting the tank, giving me more opportunities to strike. He continued to blast me with powerful explosive artillery, but it didn't faze me too much because of my newly increased health. My towering size seemed to intimidate the poor little Skibidi toilet, causing him to try and retreat to no avail. With one strong blow, I knocked the tank Skibidi toilet to his knees.
I might have lost control over you, but the other Skibidi officers will make sure you fight for our cause.
I had had enough of his nonsense and blasted him into the lava below. I then exited the cavern when suddenly I spotted the Titan Speakerman flying overhead. The chip is gonna have to wait. He's looking for me! On days 15 through 17, I kept behind cover to keep myself from being tracked by the Titan Speakerman. The Titan flew over my hiding spot, patrolling from the sky above. I held my breath as he passed by, but he didn't seem like he'd be leaving the area anytime soon.
Come out whenever you want, huh?
I need to get out of here without getting spotted. I waited for an opening and stealthed from one hiding spot to the next to stay out of his sights. It was a game of cat and mouse, but I was determined to win. Unfortunately, I soon reached an area where an open field separated me from the only other piece of cover left. I'm gonna have to make a run for it. As the Titan was passing over, I ran as fast as my legs could carry me. The Titan was closing in and I still wasn't at the next hiding spot. I'm not fast enough! He's gonna spot me! I jumped under the cover and stood still, unsure if I had successfully evaded the Titan. Did he see me? To my dismay, the Titan Speakerman touched down in front of me. He blasted me with the sonic boom attack, sending me flying into the unknown. On days 18 through 20, I landed on a remote island made of strange rock formations. Inside the island was an even smaller island. Where did that sonic boom send me? Suddenly, something zoomed by as fast as lightning, putting me on edge. Who goes there? Just then, the speeding enemy ambushed me, revealing himself as the Sawblade Skibidi Toilet.
You're on my turf now.
The Sawblade Skibidi tried to give me a fresh fade with his whirling blades, but I wasn't due for a haircut anytime soon. I tried to use my plunger, but I couldn't get within melee range without getting damaged. I tried to land Sonic Blast while the Skibidi was banking for another run, but it was far too quick. He whizzed back and forth at blinding speed, dive-bombing me. I had to dodge out of the way or else I'd be sliced in half. Each hit I tried to land failed to connect. He was too nimble for me to land an easy blow. I have to run! I tried to run, but that's exactly what the toilet wanted. He was gaining on me fast. I was gonna get mowed down to nothing. Suddenly, a massive laser shot down from the sky above and blasted into the pesky Sawblade Skibidi Toilet. When I looked up, I realized that the Titan Cameraman had come to help.
Don't worry, I'll save you.
Not so fast.
Suddenly, the strange sensation from days prior came over me once more. Lightning zapped around me and I lost control of my body. Ugh! Let me go! Against my will, I lunged at the Titan Cameraman. On days 21 through 23, I was battling with the Titan Cameraman due to my mind-controlled chip.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry! Those toilets chipped me!
What? No fair. I want chips.
Not that kind! They put a device in my brain and now I'm not in control of my actions!
Oh no.
Enough talk. Kill him.
I went at the Titan Cameraman with everything I had. The Sawblade Skibidi laughed before leaving us to our fight. I tried my best to hold back. The Titan Cameraman blasted me with the fire attack immediately, followed by taking the brunt of a missile barrage. I tried desperately to resist as the world around me exploded into fire, but I couldn't stop my body from attacking. I unleashed my speaker attack as I felt my legs carry myself across the battlefield trying to dodge his attacks. I wasn't fast enough, however, and the Titan Cameraman brought his hammer down directly onto me, which sent me flying across the field and causing extreme damage. I felt my body turn to retaliate, launching a relentless concussive base attack in an attempt to confuse him. I was met with sonic waves generated by the Titan Cameraman's hammer, and my body felt the hits. I was narrowly dodging hammer swings and I attempted to navigate the flaming battlegrounds. I wanted nothing more than to stop attacking, but my body wouldn't obey me. I felt my body begin to finally run, but I was caught up in another missile barrage. The Titan Cameraman unleashed his powerful attack in self-defense. Please! I'm gonna die!
I'm sorry for this, but I can't let you kill me.
The Titan charged up his finishing attack and fired a massive laser down onto me. Luckily, I managed to dodge it, but his laser vaporized the ground beneath my feet. I fell into the darkness below. On days 24 through 26, I landed inside of the Sawblade Skibidi's secret underground lab. I was worried I would be forced to battle again, but the fall allowed me to regain control of my body. I'm gonna have to be careful of who I'm around. I never know when I can lose control. I began to explore the laboratory for any clues that could be helpful on my journey ahead. As I investigated, I walked into a room full of zombie Skibidi toilets trapped in cages. They growled through the bars, and I knew that they could be trouble. At least they can't get me through there. Suddenly, the security alarms began flashing red.
Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
That's probably a coincidence.
Releasing Skibidi zombies.
Maybe it's for a different room full of caged zombie Skibidi toilets. The doors to the cages opened and the zombies were unleashed onto me. Aw, man! Ugh! away from me! The zombies rushed from their cages, eager to attack. I engaged cautiously, attempting to keep my distance, but they were upon me almost immediately. I let loose with my powers, forcing them back with my booming blast. I was able to kill a few, but the rest didn't stay down for long, and they continued forward, with even more appearing behind the others. I began using my confusion tone on them to keep them from being completely overwhelmed. I tried to dodge and weave, but there just wasn't enough room in the hallways to maneuver. Before I knew it, they were right on top of me, and I found myself cornered by the giant horde of zombie toilets. I unleashed a barrage of tones and sounds in a desperate attempt to get them off of me. I took out one after the other, but their numbers seemed endless. No matter how many I killed, another always seemed to pop up in its place. There were just too many zombies for me to defeat alone. I knew I wouldn't be able to keep this up forever, so I used a sonic boom to blast them off of me. That gave me some breathing room, and I was able to spot a way out. I ran as fast as I could, hoping to lose the zombies. On days 27 through 29, I was being chased with the Sawblade Skibidi's lab while the zombie toilets pursued me. I tried to shake them off, but everywhere I went, there were more of them. Quickly, I became surrounded, and I thought this was the end. No! There's just too many! It can't end like this! But just then, I heard someone calling out to me.
Over here!
With nothing else to lose, I ran towards the sound of the friendly voice, only to realize it was coming from a camera toilet. Ah!
No, don't worry. I'm friendly. My name is Tom.
He explained to me that he was a failed experiment at the lab and wanted to help the Alliance defeat the Skibidi army. Quick, lead the way! Those zombies are still after me and they aren't far behind. I followed Tom down a few secret passageways throughout the facility until finally arriving at the entrance of a top secret room. It was of high importance, judging by the number of zombie toilets guarding the entrance. How am I supposed to get in there?
Don't worry, I'll take care of this.
Tom walked out in front of the zombie guards, pretending to be a mindless goon just like them.
Intruder, go this way.
Intruder! Follow ugly toilets!
The swarm of zombies tailed behind Tom, giving me the chance to sneak into the top secret room. On days 30 through 32, I made it inside the top secret room to find a strange porcelain girl in a massive glass tube. What's that? Just as I began approaching the test tube for a better look, the Sawblade Skibidi emerged out of nowhere, ambushing me.
This right here is my latest creation, and I'll use your scraps to make her stronger.
Once again, the strange sensation came over me and I lost control of my body. The Sawblade Skibidi made me march towards a massive vat of lava. Ah! Legs! Stop moving! I tried to regain control of my body as I inched closer and closer towards my doom, but nothing seemed to work.
Stop right there.
Out of nowhere, Tom jumped in and hit the Sawblade Skibidi toilet, freeing me from his control.
You pest!
The Sawblade Skibidi attacked Tom, but the strength of his Sawblade was too much for the little camera. He died to the might of the commander. No! Tom! You'll pay for this! With control back over my body, I charged in and attacked the Sawblade Skibidi. On days 33 to 35, I was retaliating against the Sawblade Skibidi to avenge Tom's death. We ran at each other, clashing as I swatted viciously with my plunger. I let loose my concussive blast, narrowly missing him as he zoomed by. I was able to land a few hits with my sound waves, jumping away as he attempted hit and run tactics. I retaliated every time he came near, taking a few hits myself. He got cocky, and after landing a really good hit, the Sawblade Skibidi attempted to retreat. He flew away to the upper level, but I followed up quickly to continue the fight. I came out, striking carefully when I could, having to be cautious as not to fall. Maintaining my balance on the raptors was tricky, and the Skibidi Sawblade took every opportunity they had to zoom in, attack, and then run away. I was able to fight back using my sonic blast, dodging whenever he zoomed in too close. I had to duck into a doorway and catch my breath for a second. He was too big to follow me in, so I studied his movements, waiting for a chance to strike. The commander was tough, but I was finally beginning to get an edge. I emerged from the doorway, unleashing my sonic and concussive blasts. I knocked him back down to the lab and was ready to finish him off.
Not so fast. You didn't really think I'd let you beat me, did you?
What do you mean? It looks like I finally got the upper hand.
Not quite. Get him, my creation.
Just then, the Sawblade Skibidi released the porcelain toilet girl from her tube. Whoa, what is that thing?
Say hello to my secret weapon.
Oh yeah? Bring it on! The porcelain toilet girl charged me immediately, and before I knew it, we were in an epic slugfest. On days 36 through 38, the battle with the porcelain girl was not going in my favor. A bunch of lasers suddenly materialized out of thin air, and I was hit with rays of searing damage. I ran to avoid more damage, when suddenly pylons rose out of the ground. Unsure of what they do, I did my best to dodge them as I approached her and attacked with my plungers. I was able to land a few blows before being walloped by a powerful punch of her own. I flew back and landed, only to be met with another group of lasers floating in midair. I ran immediately, attempting to dodge their deadly blasts, and unleashed some of my sonic sounds at the porcelain toilet girl as I got close. She aimed her lasers downward and let loose, causing the ground to temporarily turn into molten rock. I backed away to avoid the burning sludge, narrowly avoiding the attack before re-engaging. Unfortunately, I strayed too closely to the pylons and was hit by a lightning trap. I ran back to collect myself, and then let out a barrage of sonic and concussive blasts as I charged forward for a combo of melee attacks. Her new strength was crushing. I wasn't sure how much more fight I had left in me. I was gonna have to turn the tables somehow, but I got an idea. Out of my way! I dodged the porcelain girl's next attack and went for the saw-blade Skibidi toilet instead.
Wait, what?
My sneak attack did just the trick. The saw-blade Skibidi fell to my strength, dropping a remote as he died. Huh? What's that? I snagged the remote and used it, unsure of what it would actually do. To my surprise, the porcelain girl stopped in her tracks.
What the? Who the? Ouch, my head.
Oh, of course! I get it now! There are remotes that power the mind control chips. I have to find the Titan Speakermans and my own to keep us from being mind controlled.
Thank you for saving me. Here, take this as a sign of my gratitude.
Oh, you're too kind. Holy moly! When I touched the gun, I felt an overwhelming sensation come over me. My body began to transform. My legs grew longer and my arm materialized into a new weapon. I was now a Titan Speakerman with 5 more hearts and a laser beam. I feel incredible! Wait, is this like a piece of you? Don't you need that? Or did you have a spare? And if so, where were you keeping it? You don't even have pockets! Suddenly, the room trembled wildly and the porcelain girl looked my way.
Oh no, this is bad. We gotta go. Follow me, now!
On days 39 through 41, I followed the porcelain girl outside to find that the Skibidi-Zilla was emerging from the ocean. What are you doing here?
I got word of your little rebellion. You've been a real pain in my side, and now I'm going to put an end to this.
The oversized lizard charged at me, ready to take me out. The Skibidi-Zilla unleashed his dino breath, setting me aflame. I retaliated with my laser attack, and he fired back. Our blast meeting point blank in a giant clash. I channeled as much energy as I could into the attack, but Skibidi-Zilla was more powerful and pushed me back. We fought furiously along the beach. Lasers shot through the air as we dodged each other's attacks. I blasted him with my own laser barrage as the Skibidi-Zilla was knocked back temporarily. He began stomping at me furiously and I dodged out of the way, letting loose with a barrage of missiles. They landed to little effect, and I charged in, attacking with a flurry of punches. He belched out a burst of fire and began gnashing viciously with bite attacks. Unfortunately, I misstepped and allowed him to get a heavy hit on me with his atomic blast.
Don't worry, I'll take care of this.
The porcelain girl jumped into the fray to help me fight. It was Skibidi-Zilla versus his own science experiment. The Skibidi-Zilla attacked immediately, blasting her with a bout of fire and setting the trees ablaze. She returned fire with a laser attack before leaping from the tree to engage at close range. She summoned her lasers again, letting loose another quick barrage before turning the floor into superheated lava. I tried to help, blasting from a safe distance, as he rained his own laser barrage down upon the porcelain toilet girl. I flew closer, trying to help in the fight, and we began the vicious double-team attack. The Skibidi-Zilla attacked us both wildly, seemingly unaffected by our onslaught. He stomped on porcelain toilet girl furiously as she summoned attack after attack, but none of it seemed to matter. Despite her best attempts, the porcelain girl just couldn't get an upper hand. The Skibidi-Zilla unleashed a powerful beam attack, melting the girl down to rubble. No! Just as I didn't think it could get any worse, the Skibidi-Zilla began to transform. His skin turned metallic like armor and his body became more massive. He was now a mecca Skibidi-Zilla.
All will fall to my might.
In his new form, I knew I wouldn't stand a chance. I took to the skies as the Skibidi-Zilla followed after me. On days 42 through 44, I was in a heated chase as the mecca Skibidi-Zilla pursued me through the skies. I flew over the ocean away from the remote island, but I couldn't get him away from me. He can fly now too? I turned around and tried to fire attacks back at the monster to slow him down. However, he swiftly dodged each and every one of them.
Is that the best you've got?
The mecca Skibidi-Zilla fired back projectiles of his own. I stayed quick and managed to dodge one after the other, but they kept coming. I'm not sure how much longer I can keep this up. Hey, big guy, don't you get tired? Unfortunately, I was hit by one of the attacks, causing my jetpack to temporarily malfunction. I plummeted down into the ocean below me and splashed into the cold water. My vision blurred and everything went dark. On days 45 to 47, I found myself in a strange dark void, wondering where I could be. What's going on? Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice beckoning to me.
Save me, Max.
I turned around and saw the Titan Speakerman standing before me, taunting me of the past.
Why didn't you save me?
I will! Please, just hang in there a bit longer.
It hurts. Why didn't you save me? I'll make you pay!
The Titan Speakerman attacked me and I shrunk back down to my first form. No! This has to be a nightmare! Get out of my head!
This is real life!
The Titan Speakerman transformed into a giant version of the Skibidi Spider that implanted my chip.
You're under our control forever. The Skibidi toilets will win this war.
No! Stop! Get out of my head! All I could think of was the Skibidi song swelling into my head like an inescapable nightmare on repeat. On days 48 to 50, I woke up from the horrible nightmare and the cinema man was standing right in front of me.
You're finally awake.
Was that a dream? Oh, my head hurts. What happened?
I rescued you from drowning because I need your help.
Wow, you're too kind. Really, your generosity is overwhelming.
Look, the Titan Speakerman has captured all of my TV forces, and I need someone to help me save them.
That'd be pretty tough. I may be a Titan, but the Titan Speakerman is upgraded.
I already accounted for that.
Cinema Man then handed me a map to a factory.
This will lead you to where you can find your next upgrade.
Suddenly, as I was looking at the map, the place started to get swarmed with Skibidi-Zilla tank minions.
I'll handle this. Follow that map and get that part.
I didn't hesitate, knowing that I needed to get stronger to end the war. On days 51 through 53, I booked it towards the location that the cinema man gave me a map to. Sure enough, I spotted an old factory with a glass roof in the distance. I snuck around to the top of the building and took a peek inside, seeing a line of Skibidi toilets being manufactured by other toilets. I guess the part I'm looking for is inside of here. With my upgrades, it would be impossible to stealth my way through. Well, it's a good thing I have a plan B in mind. I blasted through the glass roof with my attack. I wonder if anyone heard that.
There's been a breach. Get that speaker.
Huh, perhaps plan B was not the right call for the stealth mission. Oh well, stealth missions are boring anyways. Time for some all-out epic brawling. That's right, come and get me, you toilet travesties! The toilets started to swarm me, but I was ready to fight. I shot them back with my sound waves, but they continued to press on through with sheer numbers. Once I had some breathing room, I destroyed their construction line in hopes that they wouldn't be able to create more of the nightmarish toilets. But ultimately, I was able to burn them to ashes. The army of toilets were no match for me, and I made quick work of them. That's right! No one can take the Maxter! Master of Toilet Disaster! Who's next?
Me.
I couldn't react fast enough, and I was hit directly by a missile. I turned to see that the missile was fired by a massive armored toilet. Out of my way! I'm getting that upgrade!
Not on my watch. Your story ends here.
No chance! I've still got 19 days left! On days 54 through 56, I was duking it out with the massive armored toilet. He was the toughest opponent I'd faced so far, and I had to put all my skills and abilities to use if I wanted to win this fight. The enemy bombarded me with a barrage of missiles, detonating upon impact with immense power. His onslaught was relentless, covering the battlefield below in a layer of scorching flames. Although the foe was persistent in his attacks, I wasn't ready to go down yet. Summoning all the strength within me that I could muster, I unleashed the full extent of my powers. Deploying my full arsenal of abilities, hitting him long range with my laser beams and sonic blasts, and getting in close to whack the enemy with a mighty blow from my plunger. By the skin of my teeth, I was able to take down the massive armored toilet. Phew! Thank goodness that's over. Now I can finally get that part without any more interruptions. I turned around in horror to see that the massive toilet had come back to life, revealing himself to be the Skull Skibidi toilet. No! What did I just say? You'll pay for this! The smaller toilets I had beaten earlier were resurrected as Skull Skibidi helicopter minions. This is a nightmare! I was frozen in shock as the undead toilets charged at me. They swarmed around me and bit at me with their gnashing skull teeth. I did my best to avoid their attacks, but the whole room was on fire, making it difficult. I blasted them with everything I had, but they just kept coming at me. Even when I bombarded them with my powerful lasers, they just kept getting back up again. I was already weakened from fighting the armored toilet's last form, but now I was almost completely drained. I might not make it!
Say goodnight!
The Skull Skibidi toilet used his poison vomit attack on me. I couldn't withstand the toxins and passed out. On days 57 through 59, I woke up to find that I had been taken to a graveyard. As I was looking around, I looked up and noticed that the Skull Skibidi toilet was looming over me. What are you gonna do with me?
You're merely bait for the bigger fish.
I looked up in the sky and saw the Cinema Man flying towards me. No! Turn back! It's a trap! The Cinema Man didn't seem to hear me and he touched down. As soon as his feet hit the ground, he got ambushed by the Skull Skibidi. It all happened so quick, and within seconds, they had implanted a chip on him. No!
Get him, my minion!
Cinema Man? Cinema Man wasn't himself anymore and had fallen under their control.
Eliminate!
He started to attack me. On days 60 to 62, I was under attack by the Cinema Man. The foe moved in close and with a heavy wallop from his fist sent me reeling back from the impact of his powerful punches. I didn't want to hurt my ally, but I knew if I held back then the adversary would make quick work of me. I had no choice but to hit him with everything I had. I unleashed a barrage of my abilities onto the enemy, sending him recoiling back towards the outer area of the graveyard and leveling much of the tombstones and fencing. Utilizing my concussive base ability, I managed to stun the Cinema Man temporarily, allowing me to hit him at full force with a decisive speaker blast. Although I couldn't maintain the advantage for long, as he stunned me in turn using his TV screen. I took to the skies and continued my onslaught of blasts from above. I believed I had the upper hand, but it turned out the enemy had a ranged attack of his own, landing a devastating burst of lasers onto me. As we exchanged blows, the two of us moved and circled around the graveyard as if locked in a waltz that could cost either of us our lives. While I continued to bombard him with my abilities, the brainwashed enemy proved unrelenting, unleashing swing after swing of his fists, preventing me from getting too close. I didn't want to hurt him, and I really needed to get back to the Skull Skibidi to break Cinema Man out of mind control instead of fighting him. I tried getting to Skull Skibidi, but every time I tried, the Cinema Man blocked me off. I have to trap him! I looked around and spotted a group of sweetberry bushes. Aha! Those should do the trick! I blasted the Cinema Man back into the sweetberry bushes and he ended up getting stuck. This is my chance! I turned my attention to the Skull Skibidi and attacked. I hit him with my laser beam, killing him. He dropped the Cinema Man's remote, as well as the upgrade that I was seeking. I picked it up and transformed into the upgraded Titan Speakerman. I gained 10 more hearts and a new sonic boom power that could send people flying back. I also unlocked my final burst attack that leaves a ring of musical power dealing devastating damage. I then used the remote to snap Cinema Man out of his trance.
Ah, my head! Don't tell me that toilet mind controlled me!
Sorry, but I got the upgrade! It's time to free the Titan Speakerman! On days 63 to 66, I arrived at the base, where all the TV men were being held captive.
I'll hold off the guards. You take on the Titan Speakerman.
Sounds like a plan. Together, the two of us stormed the area. The Cinema Man took out the front lines, while I pressed further in to confront the Titan Speakerman. Show yourself! I know you're here! Suddenly, the jetpack Skibidi toilet flew in.
Not so fast, Max.
I felt myself lose control again. I knew the jetpack Skibidi had total dominance over me. Let me go!
No. You're going to do my bidding, and you're going to hate it.
Suddenly, my weapons aimed towards the TVs, and I began to fire uncontrollably, feeling regret with every shot. No! On days 67 to 70, as I was firing my weapons onto the TVs, suddenly the Cinema Man ran in front of them and intercepted the attack to protect his men. Cinema Man, no! I hit him right on the screen, and he was badly damaged. The blow was fatal, and he wasn't gonna last much longer. I wanted to rush to his side, but I was frozen under the toilet's control.
Please, protect my men at all costs.
No! You can't die! It's all my fault! Please, you can't go!
Don't blame yourself. You weren't in control of your actions. It's not your fault.
There has to be something I can do to make things right!
You must win this war. You cannot let the Skibidi toilets rule over the city.
Without another word, Cinema Man passed away in front of me. Ah! How could you? Enraged by his death, my emotions allowed me to break free from the mind control. Cinema Man was right. It wasn't my fault. It was yours! You're gonna pay for this!
No, stop this! At At once, I command you to stop! Why aren't you stopping?
Driven by anger, I charged the jetpack Skibidi ready to exact revenge. On days 71 through 74, I was fighting the jetpack Skibidi toilet. I did my best to fight him off with my upgraded laser, and it was super powerful, but he just kept bouncing back. He flew around me quickly, blasting at me with his missiles, and I was forced to fly back to a better vantage point. I landed on the bridge to get my bearings, but he just flew in and started headbutting me. We were engaged in a fist fight for the ages, my fist versus his head, until he backed up and started using his lasers and missiles on me again. I fought through his powerful blasts, and got in close enough to use my concussive blast, which dazed him. This was my chance. Although the commander was proving to be an evenly matched opponent thanks to my new upgrade, I managed to finish him off with my sound boom and take him out. Any last words?
Need backup! Calling the Titan Speakerman!
No, not those words! As I hit him with one final blow, the jetpack Skibidi finally took his last breath. Suddenly, the mind-controlled Titan Speakerman flew into the battlefield.
Eliminate! Eliminate!
Alright, buddy, it's just you and me! Now on an equal playing field, the two of us began trading blows on the bridge. My new powers were devastating, but the two of us were evenly matched, and the Speakerman would just return the same powers back at me in retaliation. Lasers cascaded through the air, erupting in a burst of flames. Luckily, I had a couple abilities that the foe didn't. Unleashing my speaker and concussive blast, I was able to wear the enemy down, but it still wasn't enough to best him. I needed to reposition myself, and so I took to the skies. But the adversary was right on my tail. The battle continued in the air as we exchanged blows once more. This dogfighting wasn't getting us anywhere. I needed to act fast if I wanted to make it out alive. The two of us landed below in a parking lot where the fight commenced once more. There, I released my new ability, Final Verse. The power dealt massive damage to the Speakerman, propelling him upwards and completely disorienting him. However, despite my best efforts, it still wasn't enough. Even though I was giving the battle everything I had, he was still too strong for me to beat him without finishing him off. It was with a heavy heart that I had to retreat, leaving him still controlled. I'll have to find his remote if I want any chance of being able to free him. On days 75 through 77, I was feeling like a failure. I couldn't save the TVs or the cinema man. Am I gonna be able to win this war? I turned around to see the Titan cameraman standing before me. Titan cameraman, you're alive! I quickly caught him up about everything that had happened. I told him about the cinema man's sacrifice and how I needed the mind control remote to stop the Titan Speakerman. He handed me over a list and I looked it over. Diamonds, metal pipe, and a giant plunger. Alright, I can do that. Okay, I'm on it. On days 78 through 80, I was flying around looking for the items on the list. First, I started by mining some diamond. Using my powerful laser, I was able to blast into the ground and easily mine what I was looking for. One down, two to go. Next up was the metal pipe. I went to the remains of the factory from earlier and found one at some scrap. Now I just need a giant plunger. The one I currently have is too small and shabby. Where am I gonna find one of those? Before I could leave, the battle Skibidi toilet appeared, blocking my path.
Stop right there!
Why does this happen every time I say something out loud? It may be humorously ironic, but it's also quite inconvenient. What do you even want?
After what you did to this factory, I'm turning you to scrap.
Wait a second, is that a giant plunger? The battle Skibidi toilet lunged at me, raring for a fight. On days 81 and 82, I was locked in battle with the battle Skibidi toilet. We whizzed around, flying through the air as the two of us unleashed our arsenal of attacks. Swooping in close, the foe smacked me with his massive plunger, and even at a distance, I wasn't safe as missiles and lasers erupted from the battle Skibidi. Around us, the already decimated factory deteriorated even further into nothing but flaming rubble. The toilet released a blast from his speakers, but it was no match for my own abilities, immediately outdone by my own sonic boom. I used my last burst ability to deal massive damage to the adversary, elevating him helplessly into the air and allowing me to strike him as he was most vulnerable and incapacitated. He was an annoying opponent, but eventually I was able to overpower him and take him down. When he died, he dropped his giant plunger arm, and I claimed it as my prize. The list is complete. Time to report back. I quickly returned to the Titan cameraman and handed over everything I had collected.
Thank you. One moment, please.
The Titan cameraman began tinkering away until he revealed to me a diamond plunger. Whoa! Awesome! Thanks!
Here, take this too. This map will take you to the next Skibidi commander. He has the remote to control the Titan Speakerman, but he is the toughest foe you will have faced so far.
I don't care if it's a challenge. I'm freeing the Titan Speakerman.
More power to you. You're a brave hero.
Just then, the ground began to shake as we heard a bellowing roar reverberate through the area. Uh-oh. We got company! Before we had any time to prepare, Mecca Skibidi-Zilla appeared, and he looked like he was ready to tear me apart. On days 83 through 84, I was face to face with the Mecca Skibidi-Zilla.
Well. Look what we have here. Do you really think your little rebellion of Titans will be enough to stop me?
With our armies united and the Titan Speakerman back on our side, we'll see who comes out on top.
How cute. You'll never defeat my next officer.
How can you be so sure? I've defeated all of them up till now.
Because I'm going to kill you right here before you ever get the chance.
Skibidi-Zilla charged up an attack. I was defenseless. All I could do was brace for impact. But before the attack could land, the Titan cameraman intercepted the attack.
Don't worry, I'll hold it off. You go save the TVs.
Thanks for everything! And so, I took to the skies to free the Titan Speakerman and the TVs before it was too late. On days 85 through 86, I arrived at the location on the map and found the base where the TVs were being held prisoner. I entered the base, only to find that they were all standing around, silent and unguarded. Wait, why aren't they in cages? I guess freeing these guys will be easier than I thought. But something was wrong. They didn't exactly seem happy to see me. They mindlessly stared at me with their blank TV faces. They weren't in cages because they were being mind controlled. They came rushing towards me to attack. While I could easily overpower the TVs, I had to hold back because I didn't want to hurt them. I used my concussive base and my diamond plunger to keep the horde at bay. My laser and sonic boom would kill them immediately, so I couldn't use them. Please, you guys have to snap out of it! No matter what I said, I couldn't get them to stop. I tried to keep my distance, but the TV men even started jumping at me from above. Unable to fight back, I was overwhelmed by the TVs and lost consciousness. On days 87 and 88, I found myself in a dark void once again, back in my first form. Oh no, is this another nightmare? My suspicion was confirmed when suddenly the giant Skibidi spider dropped down right in front of me. Not this guy again.
That's right, it's me. Fall to your knees.
Never! The Skibidi spider sent a wave of psychic energy at me, giving me a splitting headache. I'll never kneel to you!
Very well, if you won't succumb to this, I have other ways of making you kneel.
The giant Skibidi spider charged at me, trying to attack me again. But before he could reach me, the Cinema Man landed next to me and destroyed the spider Skibidi. Cinema Man, my hero!
Don't let your evil thoughts consume you, Max. Their mind control will only get stronger.
But I'm weak. You're dead because I couldn't overcome the mind control.
You're the strongest Titan I know, Max. If anyone can do it, it's you. Keep fighting for our cause, and those smelly toilets are sure to lose.
Thanks, Cinema Man. On days 89 through 90, I woke up in a cage over a pit of lava. Ugh, my head. Where am I? Across from me was the Titan Speakerman who was looking at me from the sidelines. Titan Speakerman, free me quickly! I tried getting the Speakerman's attention, but he didn't respond. He was still fully under Skibidi mind control. Well, it was worth a try at least. Just then, I heard a laugh nearby and the modded Skibidi Toilet Commander emerged.
Rumor has it you're after the Titan Speakerman's remote. You'll never get your hands on it. I'm turning you to scrap.
Over my dead body!
Yeah, that's the idea.
Using my sonic boom attack, I blasted the modded Skibidi away. Then, with the power of my diamond plunger, I was able to break out of the cage. I went for the modded Skibidi toilet while he was dazed, but before I could reach him, the Titan Speakerman intercepted me. Speakerman, please, don't!
Kill him, Titan Speakerman!
On days 91 and 92, I was duking it out once again with the Titan Speakerman. The two of us traded punches. Although the enemy's blows were powerful, my diamond plunger gave me the upper hand. I tried to fly away to escape him, but he followed, and a dogfight began. Bursts of lasers and sonic booms cascaded through the air as we exchanged our abilities. I was able to hold my own against him now thanks to the diamond plunger, but I needed to target the modded Skibidi toilet. I tried to go for him, but the Titan Speakerman kept intercepting me. As my health decreased, I retreated, seeking refuge on top of the cage. But the Titan Speakerman was right on my tail. A game of King of the Hill ensued as we both attempted to knock the other off of the cage. Unleashing my lasers once again, the enemy was sent recoiling back, falling down into the lava below. I thought I had gained the advantage, but even the magma couldn't defeat him. The adversary flew back up to my position and did the same to me. The lava was boiling hot, burning through my heart, but my fighting spirit was stronger. As my foe came down to try and finish the job, I quickly readied my diamond plunger and used it to knock him backwards into the cage. Get out of my way! Landing a heavy blow on the Titan Speakerman, I was able to temporarily stun him while they made a run for the modded Skibidi. Using my diamond plunger, I lunged at the modded Skibidi, taking him by surprise. The tenacious toilet tried to fight back with his saw and his rockets, but I was much stronger than him. I managed to defeat him, and as he died, the modded Skibidi dropped his remote. I picked it up off the ground. This had better work. As the Titan Speakerman lunged at me, eager to deliver the final blow, I pointed the remote at him. On days 93 and 94, I used the mind control remote and stopped the Titan Speakerman right in his tracks.
Max?
You're back! I quickly filled him in on everything that had happened. But before I could finish, the place was suddenly swarmed by a ton of Skibidi-Zilla tanks. Releasing a barrage of their heavyweight ammunition, the tanks opened fire on the two of us. Their numbers and artillery were overwhelming us on the ground, so we took to the skies and began returning fire down onto the enemies. We unleashed our sonic booms and laser blasts from above, but the foes were undeterred, still managing to swarm us. The Titan Speakerman and I had no choice but to retreat up the volcano in an attempt to gain the upper hand. We were blasting through Skibidi-Zilla tanks left and right, but they just kept coming. I don't know how much longer we can keep this up.
I think I might have a solution. Men, assemble!
He blasted a booming song from his speakers, and pretty soon all of the Speakerman forces returned. They swarmed over the Skibidi tanks, and together they were able to hold off the forces. You're all alive!
That's right. They've just been waiting for the right time to strike.
Hold these guys off. I'll go save the TVs. On days 95 and 96, I returned to where the TVs had attacked me. They rushed at me, but instead of fighting them, I decided to try something different this time. I used the TV remote for the Titan Speakerman on the TVs as they charged, and it broke them free from their mind control.
Thank you, Max. We are at your service.
Nice! With these guys back in our team, I finally have enough forces to take on the Mecha Skibidi-Zilla. Suddenly, I felt a familiar sensation and realized I couldn't move my body anymore. Oh no! I forgot about my own chip! I tried to use the remote on myself before it was too late, but the buttons didn't do anything. I must have been programmed to a different controller. Unable to stop myself, I felt my body move by itself. Suddenly, I let loose with my attacks, blasting my own men.
Ah, sir! What are you doing? Stop!
I can't stop myself! I'm sorry, everyone! Run! As if this wasn't bad enough already, suddenly the Mecha Skibidi-Zilla showed up. This isn't good! On days 97 and 98, I was face to face with the Mecha Skibidi-Zilla.
How does it feel to be so powerless, Speakerman? With your controller in my hand, I can make you do whatever I want.
Wait, you have my controller? Let me go!
Why would I ever do that? You already bravely rescued our other Titan Speakerman. So, we need a replacement.
I'll never work for you.
I don't think you have much of a choice.
Stop right there!
The Titan cameraman had arrived, deploying a massive hole in the facility wall. With him, he had brought our entire army. TVs, cameras, and speakers alike all banded together and stormed the Mecha Skibidi-Zilla. On day 99, my valiant army collided with the Mecha Skibidi-Zilla. It was a massive all-out war. Despite our numbers, our army was getting leveled by the Skibidi-Zilla's powerful beam.
Come, my men, fight for me!
On his command, the area flooded with the Tankzilla reinforcements. An all-out war broke out between the two forces. I could do nothing but watch, the mind control freezing me in place. Fortunately, under the Titan cameraman's leadership, we were starting to get the upper hand. Suddenly, Skibidi-Zilla used his remote to turn me on my allies, before flying away to watch the carnage. No matter how hard I attempted to regain control, my actions were no longer my own, as I was forced to massacre my own men. I unleashed a barrage of lasers raining down onto my former allies. Seemingly satisfied with the destruction of what were once my forces, my chip commanded me to turn my attention to the Titan cameraman. I soared towards him, but the force of his lasers was too great for me to penetrate. As I recoiled back from his blast, the Titan cameraman seized the opportunity to retreat, flying up into the air and leaving me to focus my attack on my army once more. The tides were no longer in our favor. Just when I thought this might be the end, the Titan cameraman landed a massive blow on Mecha Skibidi-Zilla, causing him to drop the remote he was using to control me.
Wait!
Before the beast could react, the Titan cameraman blasted the remote with lasers, destroying it once and for all.
No!
Thank you, everyone. Great work. Now, time to end this. With my free will restored, I charged at the massive beast, and the final battle had begun. On day 100, I was finally fighting a fair battle against the mecca Skibidi-Zilla. We flew high into the sky, landing on the massive building at the center of the city. My men were tied up fighting the tanks, so I didn't have any backup. This was a one-on-one fight between me and the Skibidi-Zilla. There wasn't any turning back now. Determined to end this once and for all, I gave it my all. Enraged by the acts the Skibidi-Zilla made me commit on my own men, I harnessed all of my anger into my attack. I charged at him with my plunger swinging, landing blow after blow onto the enemy. He retaliated with a close-range attack, using his own massive plunger. I put some distance between us and bombarded the gargantuan foe with the full extent of my arsenal. Even though I was at my strongest, the Skibidi still proved to be a more than formidable adversary, brushing off even my most powerful blows. As I unleashed my lasers, he did the same in turn, dealing massive damage. The enemy was proving to be extremely resilient, so I took to the skies once more, flying circles around the foe. I moved in close to utilize hit-and-run tactics, dealing quick damage before whizzing away once more. However, the adversary was just as quick, firing bursts of blue flame at me, engulfing me in its colorful embers. He also unveiled a razor wind ability, sending gusts of air slicing through my exterior with ease. Nevertheless, I endured and continued my assault while dodging his abilities as best I could. After wearing him down a substantial amount, I harnessed all of my remaining strength and unleashed my final burst power, finally doing some damage. But still, the Skibidi-Zilla refused to go down. This was the toughest opponent that I've faced so far. It felt like we were trading blow for blow, totally evenly matched. I was desperate to try to get the upper hand. When I remembered all the lives that were lost during this war, it ignited a fire deep within me, and I realized there wasn't any way I could let him win. Fueled by this, I unleashed one final attack, determined to make sure the mecca Skibidi-Zilla paid for all of its destruction. I did it! I beat him! And the Speakermen have finally won the war! The Speakermen cheered and blasted music in celebration, and we all rejoiced in the fact that we had triumphed over our enemies.